Welcome, everybody, to Conversing over Drinks with your host, Cedric Turner. We are back again with the second episode of season 2, and I have a special guest on for today. It is
Yeah.
one of my buddies, one of my
Yeah.
collegiate buddies from college, Ja'mal Stewart.
What up? What up? What up?
He's 6'4", collegiate basketball player, phenomenal rapper. Some of you may know him as J Miz because he was a great rapper, still is a great rapper. I don't know why you ever quit doing it, man. Joining us on the show today to talk about basketball, music, life in general, man. Welcome to the show, bro. Tell the people anything else you want to say.
Man, I appreciate the introduction, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for,
Yes, sir.
you know what I mean, the rap compliments. I appreciate that. You definitely a spitter yourself, man. And you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. I just want to say thank you for having me, man. Kid from Louisiana/Kansas, and just making my way through this world, bro. You know what I mean?
Always, bro. Like I've been doing this now this is our second season, but I've been doing this for about 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
And one of the things is like I love keeping it with like local people that I know have a story. And like, man, like people keep telling me, hey man, send out emails, get bigger people on the show so you get big. I'm like, man, I get it, but like those people don't matter to like my listeners, man. Like I want my listeners to hear from people that are normal people that
Yeah.
like they can relate to and that they just know personally. Like if they can listen to the episode and be like, hey man, I know that dude, but I didn't know that story. Like that, I mean, that's what I like about the show. That's the whole point of the show, man. Conversing over Drinks is just a laid back show where we just have a conversation. Everybody hears drinks and they think it's some alcohol stuff. I'm drinking coffee and water because it's 8 a.m. in
Yeah.
Japan. I was like, you got your Fiji water. I
Yeah.
was like,
I'm drinking
it's
water too, brother.
yeah, man.
Uh,
It ain't got nothing to do with anything else, man. It's just a fun time and a
Right.
fun episode, man.
Yes, sir, Ski. It is definitely a good time, man. Like I said, I appreciate you having me on here, man. And you said it's what time over there?
It's 8 a.m., man.
Crazy.
8 a.m. Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's wild over here, man. Like when I get back to the States in
Yeah.
August to visit, because I'm coming back to visit my buddies, it's gonna be like a day where I just need to adjust.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, that lag is gonna be insane, bro.
It's gonna be wild, man, because
Yeah.
it's like a 14-hour flight anyway, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be wild,
Yeah. You hopefully get some sleep on that plane too. But yeah, bro, we
man. I can't s- I can't sleep on the plane, man. And I guess we can start with that. We can start with a funny story about that because I can't sleep on planes because of what happened to me in high school.
Yeah.
So my senior year before I went to college, I played for the high school USA team with 365 Sports, and we went down to the Dominican Republic to play ball. And they had us on this big chartered plane, like one of those huge planes that have like 3 sections and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
like the big TV in the middle and everything. It was a great experience. On the flight from Miami to the Dominican, I didn't sleep at all. Like I didn't sleep at all. 17, you're still young. Like I'm over here talking to the guys on the team.
Yeah.
The girls' team was like right next to us, so I'm like trying to shoot my ugly little shot. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up, man?" and but like we're sitting there talking, and so I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep at
Yeah.
all. We got to the Dominican. We were there for like a week and a half. Played our games. Come back,
Mhm.
man. On that flight back, I'm exhausted. We had played in the week and a half. We had played 15 games, and I'm just exhausted.
You
Body
said a
hurt.
week and a half?
Yeah, week and a half. We played 15 games. Yeah, and I was just exhausted. Body hurts. Everything. So I'm on the plane, and I'm just like, bro, I'm crashing. So I crash out,
As you should.
and when we hit Miami, I wake up and like 4 of my teammates are just like looking at me. And I'm like, what? And bro, I had passed out and drooled all over my just
Uh,
wet spot right there on my hoodie,
yo.
just a puddle. It been snoring the whole time.
Yeah.
Phone like this, like camera phones had just got big, so I got one teammate like recording it, another teammate taking pictures. I was like, bro, never again.
Never again.
Never again. So like since that day, I've never went to sleep on an airplane. Like if I go to sleep, it's like for like 10 minutes and then I pop right back up. Like I just
Bruh.
traumatized, bro.
Okay.
Traumatized. I was like,
Okay.
come on, man. Like it was,
Damn.
yeah, it was bad, bro. Like when I say a puddle, it was like a pool, man. You could have swam in it. Like it was
Wow.
bad. It was bad,
Yeah,
man.
ain't no coming back from that, man.
Nah, man, and like only thing that didn't make me like get like super pissed and flip out on a few of them is like one, it's a team thing, so we all joke
Mhm.
around, and it's
Mhm.
like I had cracked jokes on them. It's an experience, but I had another buddy on the team that I got pretty close with. He was from Colorado. We like none of us really called each other by our names. We just called each other by the states. Like we was just like it was
Okay.
like they was like, "Hey, Oklahoma, what's up, bro?" And I was like, "What's good?" And so like
Y'all barely
he
knew
was
each other, you know?
yeah, and so
Yeah.
he was from Colorado, and like I remember when it happened. He was like, he was the first one. He like threw me a towel, and he was like, "Hey, bro," he's like, "I got another hoodie." He was like, "I'm gonna let you wear that, so you can just throw
So,
that one in your bag." And I was like, "I appreciate it, man." And like
yeah.
he was like, I ain't let you go walk off the plane looking like this, bro." And I was like, "I appreciate you." Like
Good man.
Me and Hill was cool, man. He was
Yeah.
a cool dude from Colorado, big boy from Colorado too. He was like 6'2", country boy, country white boy.
He was a
He was
hooper?
cool. Oh, he was a hooper, bro. Like he put you in the post and like you ain't going nowhere. Like big boy strong, country
6'2",
boy strong. Yeah.
6'2" at what? How old was he? 15, you said?
No, we was 17, 18. Like he was
17.
18. Yeah.
That's a
Like I
bit.
think he played at a, small school. He played at D3 school and
Okay.
like he played for a little bit. We kept in touch when I was in college a little bit, but I ain't talked to him in I don't know how long, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that shit was crazy. But talking about playing in college,
Yeah.
man. So you're from Junction City, Kansas. You're
Yeah.
originally from Louisiana.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So how did y'all get from Louisiana to Junction City?
Uh, well, my dad was, he's in the military. I'm a military kid, bro. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then just for a while, him and my moms were separated. So I was just in Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana, actually, Fort
Mhm.
Polk. But we went back and forth from Kansas, like fourth grade, sixth, fourth through sixth. I was in Kansas, and then I was seventh through ninth. I was back in Louisiana. Um, but I didn't even play basketball my freshman year, bro. And I was playing AAU ball. I was playing on a traveling team, and I was actually on the basketball team at my school in Louisiana. So
Yeah.
yeah, and as you know, well back then I don't know about now, but we wasn't allowed to do that.
I
So
don't know.
yeah. So I kicked off my regular team, my school team, and then I always had like I ain't gonna say always had, when I was younger, I had a bit of a temper. So I got kicked off the traveling team too for fighting the dude that told on me.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but it was all good. It worked out because we ended up moving back to Kansas. You know what I'm saying? And man, my first game, my sophomore year, bro, I think I dropped like 18, 19 out the gate. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
and I had a early growth spurt, so I didn't grow. After 10th grade, I was 6'4" in 10th grade. You know what I mean? And I stopped after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was cooking, bro. And basketball in the South is different, than it is in Kansas, bro. To be completely honest with you,
Oh, like
yeah,
Kansas.
physicality, all that. You know what I mean?
I was like Kansas is like it's quote
The
unquote the basketball home. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
when you think basketball, you think Kansas, you think Kentucky.
Yep,
Like those are the two states you think about. And
exactly.
you think about the East Coast sometimes, but Kansas is like basketball royalty. Like
100%. Yes, and you're 100% right, bro. And that's kind of how it was. Like, in Louisiana, it's more physical and unstructured. Kind of like, I don't want to say the NBA now. So I'm being a bit dramatic, but you were allowed to have ISOs and things like that. But
uh,
yeah, but when I came to Kansas, I was good for the first couple games, and then I realized that this is a team thing. You know what I mean? I think my first couple, I had like I said, I was 18 here,
yeah,
17 there, 16 there when I first started. But I would also have like two or sometimes even three charges, like a game.
Yeah,
against me. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
it was just a different type of play. And I was fortunate enough, man, to play varsity my junior and senior year. Uh, and I had a few like mid majors, not even mid majors, like small majors with D1s, but I didn't take any of the tests, like the ACT, SAT. I didn't take any of that.
yeah.
So, long story short, for you, I ended up going the college route, which I loved, our junior college route, which was Coffeyville
Yes,
Community
sir.
College. And I went there from '05 to '07, and at that time, because I want to say on not only maybe 4 years later, another team from Coffeyville broke the record, but we were the winningest in the Jayhawk Conference. We were 33-3. You
Yeah,
know,
like
yeah,
y'all had some squads,
bro.
man.
We
Like
was,
I done did my research, man. Y'all had some teams, bro.
bro, it's insane, bro. And put it this way, like I said, I was 6'4". I was the two, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had
Which
we had a wonderful point guard named Boo Richardson. His real
I was like,
name's Keith.
which should be your natural position though. Like 6'4",
Right, like in the
you should
league.
be
Yeah,
a
exactly.
two.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be a two, a one even these days. But
yeah,
uh, uh, we had a incredible point guard, bro, named Boo Richardson. I want to say he's 5'10".
yeah.
Insane. He ended up going to Illinois State. Anthony Slack, Illinois State. We had another homie, Isaiah Allen. He went to UTSA. Like, it was insane, bro. The craziest part about it is I was one of the only ones to go to Division II.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how good we were. You know what I mean?
yeah, man.
And like I said before, like in high school, I was getting looked at by D1s. You know what I mean? So that tells you the caliber of players that was at Coffeyville. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah,
When I talk to kids about it now, man, like it's crazy because I tell them all the time, like it's coming back as a coach, like I tell them, I'm just like, guys, you got to understand the level
yeah,
of game that happens
insane,
every level you get higher. And I
insane.
was like, it's not, I was like, if you have any type of college looking at you, it's not a slight. I was like, I was like, kids will see community college or they will see like NAIA or D3 or D2 and be like, man, I don't want to go there. It's D1 or nothing for me.
Right,
Like, I'm like, bro, if you're not a D1 player, like you're
right.
not a D1 player. There's nothing wrong with that. Like they're super rare. Like,
Yeah,
like
yes.
there's nothing wrong with it. I was like, those guys, I was like, it's just different. And I've told
Dude.
guys all the time, I'm like, guys, I'm like, the game is so different. I was like, when you get to those levels, I used to tell people when I was in college, when I was
Mhm.
playing at Bethel, like at the time, Bethel was an NAIA. I think they still
Right,
are.
right.
But I was there at Bethel, and I remember playing like Hutchinson and a couple other community colleges
Yeah,
in the Kansas area because Bethel's in North Newton, Kansas. So we're
right.
playing all these Kansas teams. And I remember we played one. I can't remember the name of them. I think it was Hutchinson Community College. We
Yeah,
were
the
playing.
Dragons, Hudson Dragons. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew their entire roster because they were all from Oklahoma, and they were all guys that I knew were D1 players,
yeah,
but they weren't bright. They were dumb. I was
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
was like, it's
And,
like so they never took the test, and I'm like, guys, these are D1 guys that
mhm.
could possibly be in the league if
Yep,
they took this as serious
yep,
as they took other stupid stuff. I
yep.
was like, they're gonna run us off the floor, and they're like, no, no, no. They're like, I was like, bro, I was like, y'all say what y'all want to say. I was like, I'm coming the ball out. And it was one of my better games for our team that year.
Mm,
But it was like everybody else, like bro, when I say they beat us 98 to like 40 something and didn't
yeah,
take a single jump shot, didn't take a single jump shot. It was layup or dunk. They
yeah,
were throwing oops from half court, bro. Like
yeah,
I'm sitting on the bench like it's some bullshit. Like, and like I out of the 48, I had like 22 of them. And I'm just
yeah,
like, this is some bullshit, bro.
yeah.
And like I'm talking to them after the game because again, I know every single one of them because
Mhm.
they're all from Oklahoma. They're like, Sam, what you doing over there? I'm like, because I ain't at y'all level, bro. I was like,
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
I was like, I'm barely 6 foot. I was like, I'm barely 6 foot. I was like, at the time, I was like, I'm a I'm a good defender, but I'm not an elite defender. I was like, I'm a
Right.
good shooter, but I'm not an elite shooter. I
Yeah.
was like, the best thing about me is that I grew up with coaches, so I just know the game of basketball. It's like I know how it works. I was like, so it makes me a really good point guard.
Yeah.
I was like, but I was like, all the physical gifts you guys got, I ain't
Yeah.
got none of that shit.
Yeah.
So,
Like to add to that, like you were saying everybody from Oklahoma, that's another thing to add, bro. Like to be looked at in state, you know what I mean, shows how good you are because you can only have a certain amount. Back then,
mhm,
that rule has changed now. But back
yeah,
like it was an honor for me just to be selected for that team because how much they won. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like to revert back when I was at Coffeefield, again, we were 33-3 the first year and then 34-2. There we go. Yep. So we were 34-2 and we lost in the final four at Hutchinson because they actually host the championship. And
yeah,
that year, I believe our first year we lost to Midwestern, which was a Texas school, and it was Bruce Carter who ended up going with my teammate Terod Sanders. They ended up going to Murray State together. So it was
yeah,
just like, yeah, it was just that type of thing, bro. And then uh, I had my freshman year at Coffeeville, I averaged like 8 or 9 points. Again, we had Boo Richardson, which he was insane, and then we had again Isaiah Allen. Um, we had Scott or not Scott. We had Slack, and I would rotate the two I would rotate the two with Isaiah, and then we had Barry Eberhardt, where he ended
yeah,
up with St. Louis
yeah.
monsters. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like you were saying, such a difficult transition because everyone was the man in high school. You know what I mean? And
Everybody.
for us to come together, it was so fast paced. I didn't know what a fade screen was until I
Mhm,
got to Coffeeville. You
yeah,
know what I mean? It's just little small stuff like that. And then I was fortunate enough. I don't want to talk everybody's head off. So I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to NSU, Northeastern State, which is in
yeah.
Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where I
Oh
met
yeah,
Cedric. Um, and when I got there, the transition was pretty tough because I wasn't used to, I don't want to say losing, but we were 15-15 my first year.
yeah,
And then the next year we were, I want to say 15-16.
yeah,
We had a losing record, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And I transitioned from a 1-2 combo guard to playing the post, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That
And
was like the hardest thing for me to do. But I remember in high school, I was one of the tallest too. So I
yeah,
still had to, I could still move around and whatnot and get going. But when you going against a 6'7" or 6'8", bro, come on, man.
it's wild, man. And even those NSU teams, like
Yeah.
like why is coach slipping my mind right now? Like me and
Gibson?
him, yeah, Gibson. Me and
Yeah.
Gibson would sit down and talk about it. Like, because like when I took one of the basketball coaching classes uh towards the end of my time at NSU,
Yeah.
one of his assistants was teaching it. But I would go talk to Gibson because Gibson learned from Sutton. Like
Sutton
he
Jr. or was
no
Eddie?
Eddie. Like
Mm.
I think he learned from Eddie, and I think he learned from Eddie and Henry Iba. Like I think he learned from
Yeah.
both of them. And so like I would go just pick his mind about them all the time,
Yeah.
just ask him basketball questions. And he was a really good coach. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
against
Larry was awesome, bro.
yeah, he's a great coach, great human being.
Yes.
Um, the Gibson brothers, like they were so good
Yeah.
for
Randy.
NSU. Yeah, they were so good for NSU.
Yeah.
But like y'all had a team, and like like a team of talent, but it was
Mhm.
just weird to never see it translate
Yeah.
because like it was like you had D. Like I always thought he tried to play D the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like
He was after me though.
yeah, like D was after you.
Yeah.
Who's your point guard?
Rick. Rick was our
Rick.
point
Yeah,
from
Rick was your
Washington
point
D.C.
guard.
Yeah. Rick
And
Brennan.
then
Train. Aaron.
was you there with Ethan?
Yeah. No, Ethan was a year after me as well. So that was
Yeah.
D. Ethan, Etho, Mano. All them was 1 year after I was gone.
Okay. Yeah. Like, and it was just like
Two actually. Sorry, 2 years.
like watching them sometimes like growing up in the game and knowing the
Mhm.
game, I was always taught to not coach you. Like, and it was like people never understood it. And I was like, They were like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, how it's broken down to me was to not coach yourself." I was like,
Correct.
"That's what it is." I was like, when you try to make a team play like you want them to play,
Yeah.
I was like, you're not going to get that. I was like, unless you're recruiting guys that just play like you're not going to get that. I was like, you have to adapt. I was like, you have to play guys in ways that complement their skill set.
Correct. I totally agree.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I was like, if I had a whole bunch of guys that could just get up and down the floor, I'm
Yeah.
not running half court offenses. I'm not run. I was like, guys, we're not. I was like, we're gonna have simple half court sets. We're gonna have a Philly set with some backdoor cuts. I
Yeah.
was like, every once in a while, we're gonna have a high UConn screen and roll action. But
Yeah.
other than that, I was like, we're balls to the wall, man. Like we're going. Like,
And, and I totally agree. And that's crazy because like I think my I don't want to say my generation, but I want to say from like that transition from basketball, you saw it. Like
yeah,
2009, bro, not only in the collegiate level, but like NBA, even with high schoolers, when you could start watching mixtapes and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, like the game transition, bro. We was positionless basketball essentially. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And if we would
yeah.
have, I think if we would have adapted there, we would have been a lot more better and a bit more cohesive as a unit.
It
But
was
yeah,
no, it was just like with the game, like we always talk about the game, and I always say like people always get mad at me because I'm like, what the transition of the game? I was like, it's going to a good spot, but it's also at a bad spot. I was like, because there's too many. I was like, there's too many coaches that don't know anything about basketball that are coaching. Like, I was like, there's so many AAU coaches that don't know a thing about basketball, and they're
valid,
just out there throwing kids out there, and they're just like, hey, go play,
valid.
like while I collect the check,
That's
and I'm
very
like,
valid.
it's so annoying for the game. Like, I hate
Yeah.
it. Um, but like it's I was one of those coaches where I would tell my kids, I'm like, guys, as much as you love the NBA, I don't want you to watch it when we're playing because you're gonna pick up bad habits. I was like, you're gonna try to do things that they're doing without understanding they did 20 years
Yeah, yeah,
to get to that point.
yeah.
Like you're gonna see Steph pull up from half court, and you're gonna look at Steph amongst giants and be like, he's my size. I can do that. No,
Right.
you can't.
You're not
It's like,
you're
no,
not shooting 1,200 shots a day, so no, you can't.
like you know you can't. Like
Right, right, right,
you
right,
can't do what Steph does. You
right,
can't do what LeBron does.
right.
I don't care what you see on the TV. You can't do what they do.
And that's what you
But
and I like what you when you were saying like when you were saying like it's different levels. What
yeah,
I noticed with the different levels is I know it's gonna sound like antiquated or whatever, but like the work, bro. These
mm,
guys work so hard, man. Like we went to there's a camp always out here in OKC, and it's for the youth, for the kids, and they'll put some professional drills in there,
yeah,
and you would see like you can kind of tell from like a kid's age, like I think they're like sixth graders or whatever, and you can tell like the ones that kind of want it more. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and people don't understand. Like we just talked about Curry, like he shoots 1,200 shots, bro.
yeah.
And shooters know after you shoot like 500, bro, you get these little blisters on your
Oh
finger,
yeah,
on your
yeah,
releases. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you just strapping.
It's a
Most
leather
people quit.
ball. Yeah,
Yeah, and
like
most
people
people
don't
quit right
understand.
there.
It's a
Yeah,
leather ball. It's ripping your fingers every
right,
time you shoot it.
correct. And it's like your arms are hurting, blah blah. It's so easy to quit. And he's just changed the game because of what he's doing now. People think he can just go out there and shoot threes, and
Yeah.
yeah, so that's just terrible. But
And like I would tell them all the time, like, bro, it's such a copycat league. I was like, it's such a copycat league
mm,
because before Steph, like it was you needed a big man and a guard, pick and
right,
roll,
right,
Kobe Shaq
Kobe
style,
Shaq,
Wade
yeah,
Shaq style,
right, right,
Kobe Pau Gasol,
right.
uh,
Gary
that
Payton camp.
yeah, you
Yeah.
needed that. And then it transitioned to with Steph, like because like as much as I love Steph, like I would tell people all the time, like Steph isn't Steph without Mark Jackson. Like Mark Jackson
Okay.
is the
The
reason.
early Warrior days.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
Mark Jackson is the reason for Steph, and it's because I was like not the reason. It's I was like the reason Steph has the freedom to play the way he does. I was like because
Mm.
Mark Jackson played with Steph. I was like, Reggie Miller was Steph before Steph. I was like, he relentless on the court, never stopped, always running through screens, catching the ball wherever, pulling up
Pulling
wherever.
up for sure.
If he was allowed to play the way Steph played,
Yeah.
like Reggie would have destroyed the league because
Yeah.
it was one that could guard a shot. And plus he was bigger than Steph. Reggie was 6'7". He was 6'7".
And he was getting like bumped on screens, getting hit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I was like, if Reggie had the freedom to play like Steph had played, who was guarding his shot at 6'7"?
Yeah,
Like no one is stopping that. And so when Mark Jackson took that job, Mark Jackson saw that in Steph and Clay. And you got to remember the time before Mark Jackson when Steph was on the Warriors. It was you're the point guard or the two guard. They had Monte Ellis.
Yeah, Monte Ellis.
Like,
Hey, just left.
Yeah, that was like
was Karolinko there, or was he?
No, Karolinko wasn't there.
He was at the Jazz?
I don't think he ever played for the Warriors. He played for the Jazz and the Nets.
In the Nets?
Yeah, I know who you're thinking about though. Karolinko or something like that. Like it was.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it was a tall dude from Europe though. He was a Ukrainian. He was a Ukrainian. I just can't remember his name. But he was tall. He was super tall. But yeah, like the time before that, it was, hey, Steph, you're point guard or two guard. We're gonna get you here, there. Like he was shooting like 4 or 5 threes a game.
Yeah.
Mark took the job, and they tried that at the beginning, and then Mark was just like, "Hey, look, you're the greatest shooter I've ever seen. Next to Reggie, you're the greatest shooter I've ever seen. When you come down the floor, let that thing fly."
Ray
he was like, "Let it fly." He was like, "We're gonna set screens for you all day. Let that thing fly." And that's when you saw the birth of Steph, because now it's like, I'm not trying to play in the NBA system. The system has become me. And Mark was the key for that. And I still hate what the league has done to Mark Jackson. You can't tell me there's 32 better head coaches in the NBA than Mark Jackson. Like, I don't know how he's not coaching somewhere.
He's a great coach, bro.
Yeah. And
tenure.
I was like, and even Steve Kerr, when they won their first title, he was like, we don't win this title without Mark Jackson. Like, Mark Jackson installed all of this.
So the Warriors, your favorite? Is that your team? That's your favorite team, Warriors?
Nah. I will be a Bulls fan until I die.
Damn, that sucks for you, bro.
Yeah. It does. It hurts. It hurts.
No, man, y'all bounce back, bro. Imagine if Rose was healthy. That would have been insane.
Man, I still get tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
Thinking about the decision when LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah.
Because the original plan was for them to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
That was the original plan. Yeah. It was supposed to be him, D-Wade, and Melo going to Chicago to play with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, and Tom Thibodeau.
Damn, bro. Imagine
I'm in tears, bro. Like, imagine that team. D-Rose, D-Wade, LeBron, Melo, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson coming off the bench. You got Kyle Korver still on that team. Kirk Hinrich still on that team.
Was still there.
Ben Gordon's still on that team.
Yeah, you think they would have had enough salary for that?
Oh, yeah, they had plenty. Like, they were wide open.
The best players to ever play in the league.
They were wide open because all those guys that I listed outside of the three were still on rookie contracts.
Who was still on rookie contract?
D Rose was still on a rookie contract. D Rose, you got to remember, they were still super young at that time.
Was it so? Derrick Rose was like first year from Memphis, like
that was like
because when did Wade go, or not Wade, but when did LeBron go to Miami?
They formed in 11 because Kobe won in 10, and the next year it was Dallas versus Miami.
And what year
What's up?
What year did Memphis lose to KU? Derrick Rose. What year did they lose? Was that 08 or was it 09? I can't remember.
Let's see. Okay, so D Rose.
I can't remember when they lost to KU and Mario Chalmers hit the game winner.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his stuff. Okay, so D Rose came into the league. He was drafted, and it's crazy to think he's only been a 3-time All-Star. That's
I know,
wild.
man.
Yeah, okay. So D Rose was drafted in 2008.
D Rose
So
drafted. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh wait, yeah.
so
I know.
he was still on his rookie contract.
In 2011.
2011, yeah,
Mhm.
he signed a 5-year contract when he came into the league.
Got you.
So he
But it
was still
wasn't.
on.
It was like no money or what?
Nah,
It's pretty
he
good.
was the number 1 overall pick. You're going to get a huge contract,
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
that's why I was like, I wonder if they
but
had salary
you're
space.
on the rookie deal. So like after
Got
3 years, those last 2 years are team option, and they can control anything, and they have your bird rights. So that means their salary cap is
right.
different. So like now they can afford to go get guys.
LeBron
It's
and LeBron and D Wade.
LeBron, Wade, all like
That'd have
you
been it.
like there was an interview with D Wade where he talked about it. He said the original plan was for them to all go to Chicago.
That'd have been crazy, bro.
Yeah. It
I'm kind of
was,
glad they didn't though.
oh my gosh.
I know you're a Chicago fan, but
Yeah,
just for the sake of how everything turned out, you know what I mean? How we
yeah,
getting
yeah.
all that.
I'm not, because I could have saw 5, 6 titles.
Yeah, y'all to walk to the championship, man.
Like D Rose wouldn't have got hurt because you're not playing him those crazy minutes, because you don't need to play him those crazy minutes.
Dude, he
Like,
was so explosive. Oh my
bro,
god,
like
man.
people sleep. Like I remember when Russ was getting his real like garnership and fameship, and everybody was like, man, they was like, Westbrook is crazy, man. Westbrook is this. I'm like, bro, I saw this a couple years ago. His name was D Rose. Like,
Yeah,
nobody is
yeah,
D Rose,
yeah.
bro. I'm like, D Rose is just as fast, probably more explosive. And I was like, and as much as I love Russ, D Rose actually was in the gym working on his game.
He got
Like,
busy, bro.
working on his game, because like I love Russ to death, but if you know you're a horrible shooter,
Yeah.
why are you not working on it during the summer? Like, and don't tell me you are when you come out and you still have the horrible numbers. I'm like, bro, if you putting in the work, then you doing the wrong stuff, because there's no reason you should shoot like this, man. You in year what?
Do
Like
you think? Do you think he has more? You think he has more points than Curry right now?
than Steph?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's been in the league longer. He's been
Right.
in the league longer, and he got easier points, especially,
Rebounds, assists.
yeah, like he got easier points in his early days too. Like
He was so athletic, bro.
yeah, he would just get by people, just go
Right.
straight to the rim, get dunks. Like people don't understand. Like people when they see Steph, they're like, man, Steph. I was like, guys, I was like, you gotta understand, just like coaches adapt to players,
Mhm.
players have to adapt to the game. I'm like, there's a reason why some guys are good shooters. I'm like, there's a reason why I was a good shooter, because I wasn't big enough to get in against other players that had size
Right.
to play inside. So I had to separate myself. I had to find a way to score and be effective to stay on the floor. Steph figured it out too. Like it's like, hey, look, I'm not 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Like I can't go in with these guys. I'm not crazily explosive and quick and athletic. I can't do that with these guys. I was like, what? He was like, what I'm great at is shooting. So I need to separate myself and make them have to come and guard my game.
And you
And
were
then
saying,
I can go by them.
and you think that was good or bad for the league?
For what?
What Steph did?
Oh no, I think it's great for the league,
Yeah.
because if we're talking like my buddies always get mad at me for this, because I think like a businessman before I think like anything else. And so I'm like, when I see it for the league, I'm like, that's great for the league, because now you're bringing in kids, you're bringing in all these other players. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you're bringing in all these sponsorships and money, because they see someone their same size and they're like, I can replicate that.
Right.
I was like, but it's bad for the league, because you have all these teams that are trying to be copycat teams. You have all these guys shooting shots, and they're not Steph Curry. And it's like, pump your brakes, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
play within yourself. Play within yourself. Play your game. Like quit
Yeah.
trying to play like Steph. Like you see too many guys, and like you see a good shooter, and the first thing you hear is, "Oh man, he's Steph, the next Steph." Like they said that to Trey for so long. Trey Young's the next Steph.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like looking at. I'm like, guys, I'm like the volume of threes that have gone up. I'm just like, I'm like, guys, I don't care what you think, how you feel, or what you say about it. The game is still won inside 15 feet and under. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where the game is won. I was like, when Golden State was on their run,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we look at their final stats. I was like, they always won the paint. They always won the paint.
You mean like
And
rebounding or shooting in the paint or just overall?
like scoring in the paint. They
Scoring.
dominated in there. Like they would get layups, they would get the easy second chance. They just dominated in the paint. Any team that you look that wins a championship, you can look at the way their team is built, and they have guys that can dominate in the paint because that's the easiest way to get a bucket.
Right.
If you don't have shooters like that, if you don't have guys that can get separation like that, the easiest way to score in any form of basketball is to dump it down low to your big man, let him go to work.
And that's
He's
why
one of
Jokic.
the most,
That's why Nuggets are so good. I mean, other than them, they do play hell of a team ball, like team ball. But yeah, Jokic is for sure still dominant in the paint.
yeah, like it is getting back to now is going to be a copycat league where everybody's going to want a big because of Jokic. Like, and they're like, and I'm like, everybody's not Jokic. You don't
I
have
was
a.
about to say, yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely a unicorn.
I was like, Jokic is a one of one.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, even with Jokic, like, as much as I love Jokic, I remember watching him, and I told people, I was like, bro, he just looked like Sabonis' daddy to me. I was like, because I was like, Sabonis' daddy was doing all of that back in the
You talking about
day.
Arvidas Sabonis when he played for the
Yeah,
Blazers?
I was like, he was doing that for the Blazers like crazy, and I'm like,
but
bro,
Jokic's vision is insane, though.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all don't understand. I was like, Sabonis was overseas. He's an overseas legend. I was like, if he comes into the league and in his 20s and not in his 30s, like, it's like, bruh. Like,
what do you think about his son? You think his son's good?
Oh man, Demonis is fantastic. Like when they made that trade in Oklahoma City, I was so pissed. I was like, bro, you could have gave up anybody else but him, bro. I was like, don't give up him.
Bigs, bro.
I'm like,
Adams, y'all got rid of fucking. Man, y'all always do that shit. Well, I say y'all. You
but I mean, like to this day, I will always say Sam Presti is the best GM in basketball. Like, just finding hidden gems that people don't want to take time to develop, knowing when to move things, knowing how to make good trades. Like I was one of the few people when they traded James Harden, I was like, yeah, I don't have an issue with that. They were like, what? I'm like, bro, I didn't have no issue with it. None. Like
bugging.
None. I watched this game long enough to know like he wasn't that dude. Like, and
what?
Yeah, bro. I didn't mind it.
You think he's trash?
I didn't mind it. Oh no. I'm not saying he's trash. I think he's a great individual player.
Wasn't it like $500,000 that he was asking for more, or like $1 million more? It wasn't that much, bro.
No, they gave him that. They said that we would give you. They said that they would give him that. Like Sam Presti said, we would give you that, but he had already was like, nah, I want to be the number one guy in Houston, and so they made the deal.
Well, when he first was in the where'd he go when he got traded though? When it was him, KD, and Westbrook, where'd he go?
He went to Houston. That's how they got Steven Adams.
And that man was cooking, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about James Harden.
Yeah.
He wasn't like that, bro. He was in damn near MVP candidate. Bro, what?
No, he was MVP candidate, won an MVP in Houston. But again, like I said, I've been saying this about Caitlin Clark too, because like people have been getting on me about this.
I mean,
Caitlin Clark too.
With Caitlin Clark.
I was like, they've been killing me about her too. But I'm like, it's a team game.
Right.
I don't care about your individual stats. I don't care about what you do. James cared. That's all James has ever cared about is his individual game. And
but Caitlin averaged, Caitlin up there in assists too, though.
Oh yeah, and like, but when I watched them play, like, because James was up there in assists. James led the league in assists 3 years.
I was about to
I
say
was
that
like,
too.
but when I watched them
Okay,
play,
nice, bro.
yeah, when I watched them play, I'm just like, they don't care about the team success. They
Uh,
care about their numbers. I was like, they don't care about the team success because they can have a great game and the team lose by 10 or 15, and they'll just be like, I played good. Like, and like, I
yeah,
was like, I don't like that mentality. I've never liked that mentality. And like with James, like James always ran away from the big moments. Like I was good to let him go when I watched him in that finals. And I watched D Wade just destroy him.
what year?
And
What year was that for him?
that would have been his third or fourth year in the league. Yeah. And I watched D Wade in that bench for Miami just destroy him and take him out of his game. And he just disappeared.
You got
And I was like, this ain't sixth man of the year, James Harden. I was like, bro, he was still sixth man. Like nobody was asking James to come off the bench and give us 30. They was asking James just to come off the bench and be effective.
so,
And
so
he
let me ask
wasn't doing that.
you this: when have you known James Harden ever played defense, bro?
Never.
Of course, D Wade's gonna cook him. You know that's
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's
never.
what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
like for
But
sure. Like even
this is
when
the
they,
thing though.
I mean, you know, up.
When I say destroy, I'm not talking about just defensively. I'm saying I'm not just talking about offensively. I'm talking about
Okay.
took him completely out of his game.
Yeah.
I don't give it like if you getting cooked on defense,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn if you cooking him back. Like cook him back. Like
Yeah.
we'll find ways to hide you. It's
Yeah.
5-on-5. We'll find ways to hide your weak ass.
Yeah.
I was like, but if you get cooked on defense and you ain't giving me shit on the offensive
Right.
end, go
Right.
sit
Right.
your ass down. Like,
So
why you
who your
here?
favorite player in the game?
Huh?
Who your favorite player
Right,
in the league right now?
right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm I'm old and I'm very meticulous. So like right now, my guy is Jokic because I just like the way he handles himself. I like the way
It's nice.
he understands the
Yeah.
game,
It's
and
nice.
I like he understands the game at every level, like every level.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing with me is people are so tired of seeing his dominance that they're trying to say that he's not a great player. And it's like, bro, you can look at you can look at his stats for the last 250 games that Jokic has played,
Mm-hmm.
which is close to 3-4 years. You can look
Super.
at his stats. I was like, he's top 5
Yeah.
in
Easily.
everything.
For sure.
Everything.
Yeah.
Points, rebounds, efficiency, everything.
Yeah. He a
Like it's
dog, bro.
like and people don't like it because he's to me, like I say, like I compared him to his mentality of he's Barkley without the mouth. Like, because Barkley always thought of himself as just a basketball player. He
Man,
was like, dude, he's like, I'm not a role model. I'm not
yeah.
a national citizen. I'm not none of this. I play a children's game and I just happen to get paid millions for it.
Right.
That's exactly how Jokic sees the game too. He was like, man, there's bigger things than this game. Like, don't come to me asking me political questions. Don't
Right.
come to me asking me stuff like that. I'm a basketball player, dude.
Yeah.
Only thing I want to do is come play ball,
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I get paid to play a children's game, man. Like, and like, so like, I love Jokic for that mindset, man. He doesn't think too highly of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He understands it's a team game. Like he just embodies what I try to coach into my players. I'm like, I tell them all the time, like, guys, life is bigger than basketball. Like, it's bigger than basketball, bro. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's a children's game that if you get lucky enough, you get to play for money, or you get lucky enough, you get to travel the world playing. Like, I got super lucky and got to travel the world playing this game and got to see countries and different things I never thought I would see because of basketball. So
Yeah.
I was like, but at the end of the day, I'm just a regular dude. Like, there's nothing inherently special about me. There's nothing like that. I was like, I'm just a regular man
Yeah.
living my life. I was like, so it's
Funny, bro.
I was like, it's just I was like, some players feel like they God. And I'm like, bruh,
Yeah.
like what? Like you play basketball? Shut up! Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, bro, shut up! Like,
At an elite level.
yeah, I'm like this. I'm like, that's all you do, bro. I was
Yeah,
like, shut up! I don't want to hear nothing else
yeah.
from you. I was like, yeah. I was like, man,
It's
but
just
hey,
cool to
man,
see. Like, it's just cool to see. Like, how much basketball evolved. I know you're talking about Chuck, bro, and he's
yeah.
like one of those hybrids. You know, he's only 6'4", 6'5". You feel me?
Oh yeah,
Killing though, banging in the paint, and like just to see hybrids like LeBron being so large and able to pause and able to like maneuver.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Hoop how he does. 6'8", Anthony Davis.
yeah.
Just speaking of Lakers and things like that. Like just to see how the game evolve is
Mhm.
why I like it. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
know it's difficult at times for people to watch it because somebody will have 50 or somebody have 40 or the team is close to getting 200 points.
yeah,
But I think that the way the game has gone and evolved, I think is incredible.
yeah,
Positionless basketball, nobody ever thought that would happen. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you said, it's usually uh, pick and roll game. Now you got a dribble handoff, and it may be Damian Lillard dribble handoff to Antetokounmpo, and
yeah,
you like, damn, this is crazy to see,
yeah,
and it's beautiful too, bro. Like the motion sets, Connecticut ran a few last night in their
yeah.
college game, but like just to see how the league has evolved, bro, it's insane. It's insane. No, that was just. I think that was just a thing that fell over there.
I was like, but nah, bro. Yeah, the game is always gonna be beautiful. Like, my only slight against the game, and this is in all professional sports, is that they've evolved the game so much for offensive players, but they've devolved it for defensive players. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard for defensive players to do anything, especially in the NFL now. The NFL has taken
Like
out the
hip
hip
tackle.
the hip tackle.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are corners supposed to do now? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they supposed to do? Corners and safeties are looking at people like, what you
Yeah.
want me to do, coach? Like, I don't know how to hit this man anymore without getting a penalty or getting fined.
Yeah.
And like with basketball, like there's so much where like
So
we
like you want to be like hand checking back and stuff like that? Is that
well,
what you
not
mean?
even hand checking because hand checking, if people for people who don't understand hand checking is when you were able to put your hand on someone's hip and basically just guide them. Like they were like it. Like Gary Payton was the best at it. Like Gary Payton will put his hand on your hip and you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Like and so
The
like
glove.
I wouldn't necessarily want that back, but I would want them to adapt some of the European games rules because like
FIBA.
being over here
Mm-hmm.
in Japan and being over here and seeing how the Europeans play, like there's no 3 seconds in the key. There's no violation for that. So like it's so much harder for guards to get in and get easy points because the big man is always there.
Yeah.
And I like and then I
Do
was
they
like,
have
because
FIBA rule where you can block or you can go 10?
not yeah, so we were playing the other day. We were playing because our like here at the school, we have a group of we have a group of workers that go play basketball all the time,
Yeah.
every Friday. And so we'll be in there playing and it's like it's like going back to coaching for me because skill level is not the same.
Yeah.
And so like I'll legit be in there just kind of like walking through the motions. I'm playing in a hoodie, I'm playing in sweats.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm playing in a beanie. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I always have a headphone in. I'm not taking it serious at all. Like I'm just. But like there was a few times where like the ball, a couple of American players, the ball's around the rim, and one of the Japanese players was just knocking away. And they're like, that's goaltending. I'm like, no, that's only goaltending in America. I was
Right.
like, everywhere else, that's a legal play.
Yeah.
They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's legal.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Getting the mint, bro.
I was like, yeah, it's a legal play. So I was like, you gotta just move on. That's not one of the rules I would like the NBA to adapt. I think taking 3 seconds in the key away,
Okay.
like that rule alone would change the game so much because the game became Now I got to play 5 out, because if I play 5 out, then everybody's basically in ISO, and you don't have a big man in the paint because there's nobody in the dunker spot. So you don't have a big man in the paint. And if the big man comes and helps,
Mm,
now my 7-footer can shoot threes. So like now I can just kick it out to him and he
right,
shoots a three.
right.
And so now, so like coaches are now saying, hey, look, if he comes in, don't leave your guy. Just live with the layup. Don't give up the three. And so like now people are like, like people are talking about the three game, and I'm like, guys, you haven't noticed like layups and mid range game have came up a lot, because now those are the shots that are wide open. And so coaches are coaching to take those shots, because that's how the defense, that's how you have to play defense.
Yeah, so you're
And
gonna have to lock up. That would be
yeah,
a dope transition, bro.
I was
Uh,
like, so I was like, if you took that
Silver
out,
about changing it, didn't he?
what's up?
Isn't Silver talking about changing some of the
He's
uh,
talking about going to some of the
Silver?
FIBA rules, because
Yeah,
like they're not happy. They're not happy with the lack of competition. Like
right.
they feel like there's a lack of competition now, because like, and then they're really not happy when European players are saying it's harder to score in Europe than it is to score in the NBA.
I mean, it looked like they're telling the truth too,
Yeah,
because Kitchen
like
and Luka
oh yeah, like
crazy.
Luke, and then you even see it. You see it when they play world games, when you see FIBA and everything like that.
Right,
Like Luca's dropping 40 a night
right.
in the NBA, but in FIBA games he's having
20,
like
20.
25, 26, because it's so different. Like it's so much harder for him to score. And so I was like, yeah, I was like, they've been talking about it, and I wish they would do it. It'd be a lot of fun. But hey, man, let me pause this real quick because I gotta go. I gotta go piss. I done drank
Yeah,
like half a gallon.
okay.
Okay, yeah. So, man, like we talked about at the beginning, J Miz. So
Yeah,
I see it on Snapchat, man. I see you posting old videos, man. It seems like you miss it, man. Like,
yeah.
how'd you get the love for it? Like, why'd you stop doing it? Like, what's going on, man?
Uh, man, I honestly, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I like music more than I like anything. Basketball, anything.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. That's the only. I think that's the true form of expression. You know what I mean? You can write down your thoughts, bro, and connect to millions of people, bro. That's insane.
yeah,
Like feel the same way you feel, think the same way you think in that
yeah,
particular moment. You know what I mean? So and you never know what could come out of it. But uh how did I get into music? My mom and dad, really.
yeah,
So like my dad has kind of my music taste, which is pretty eclectic, bro. Like anything from funk to rap. You know what I mean? Rock and roll,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. Not country though. I'm gonna come clean. Like I don't even.
I love country music, man.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
understood. And I see it's like becoming popular. You know, like right now. Like you know how rap was pop at one time. I feel
yeah,
like country is pop now. Like even the way people are dressing. One second, brother.
yeah.
My fault. That was my dog, man. Um, but yeah, it just to answer your question, my mom and dad kind of a combination of both. Like, um, my dad gave me early records of funk from the Parliament, Zap, whoever,
Yeah,
right? And my mom was more of R&B, right? SWV,
yeah.
old stuff where we all grew up on soulful stuff from
Oh
home.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, and then from there, I kind of got the best of both worlds, bro, because in Louisiana, fast forward to my music taste, you know what I mean? The South, you remember when everything was regional
yeah,
instead of
yeah.
sounding the same or whatever?
You had like you had West Coast, you had the East Coast,
Right.
you had the Midwest with No Limit Soldiers. You had
Yeah,
everything going
in the
there.
South. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
So, and that's kind of where it was. Like, I was in Louisiana and Kansas. And
Yeah,
Kansas is exactly what it sounds like, the middle, so it got everything. But
yeah,
uh, my favorite artist was like Pimp C, you know what I mean? Bun B,
yeah,
8 MJG, Juvenile. You know what I mean? I grew
yeah,
up because it was Southern music. But then when I went to Kansas, you know what I mean? I kind of got the best of both worlds. That's when I was introduced to Nas,
yeah,
Jay Z, Pun, L, Big L,
yeah.
Wu Tang, etc. Right?
Yes, sir.
And I was like, damn, bro. It was like something lit under me when I heard music and rap for the first time. I was like, people really telling these stories, bro.
Yeah,
And I always gravitated to the quote unquote real rappers, I guess. You know what I mean?
Lyricist.
Yeah, lyricists and people who just told the truth, bro.
Storytelling. Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
like it's always a beautiful art form of storytelling, man. Like
Yeah.
when music became just words, like when rap became just words, that's when I kind of like clicked away from it because
Yeah.
my guys were storytellers, like
Right.
Mos Def, Common, Biggie, Pac,
Right.
LL. Like people sleep on how great LL is,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
LL is one of the goats.
Bar,
Like he
bro.
is ridiculous,
Yeah.
bar for
What's
bar,
your favorite L song?
crazy, huh?
What's your favorite L song?
Man, so you know me, bro. When it
Yeah.
comes to music, like I'm an R&B guy. Like
Yeah.
I grew up on soul. Like I grew up on Motown,
Yeah.
soul. That's why I
Yeah.
love country music
Yeah.
because country music is my dad used to tell me all the time, country music is nothing but the blues sped up.
Okay.
And like it's like when you listen to blues music, blues is exactly what it is. It is sad songs telling stories because you got blues. You
Yeah.
got the blues.
Yeah.
And country music is the exact same. Country music is nothing but the blues sped up because they're telling, like, as much as you listen to country music, every time I have somebody that doesn't listen to country music, first thing
Yeah.
when they listen to country music, they're like, bro, this be making me sad. I'm like, because it's the blues, man. That's what
Yeah.
country music is. Like,
Yeah.
country music is the blues sped up. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
100%.
Uh, but like,
But
so
what was your favorite L song though?
when it came to LL,
Yeah.
I'm an R&B dude. You know, I need love. I
Okay.
need
I need love.
love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and then in
And
my
in the
back of
back of
my
my
mind,
mind,
I hear my conscience call, telling me
telling
I
me
need
I
a
need a
girl
girl.
who's as sweet as a
Yeah,
dove.
that's
For the
fire.
first time in my life, I see I need
Need
love.
love.
There I was.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
jam,
Yeah,
bruh.
that's fire. I'm Bad was hard too though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's kind of where I got like like he was the first person to have swagger. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You outrhyme me, boy, I bet, cause I ain't met a motherfucker who can do that yet. You know what I mean? Like he was the first like popping shit. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
to me, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
And like, like I said, bro, I fell in love with the boisterousness of it. Like, I don't even know if that's necessarily a word or even in context, but um, it was a sport,
Yeah.
like in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and you could tell with like Big Boy and 3K, they were trying to annihilate each other on these records, bro. Wu
Yeah.
Tang, they trying to annihilate these, bro. Triumph,
Yeah.
come on,
Like,
bro.
who got the best verse? Who got the best verse, bro? And like,
Obama atomically
we
dropping these
talk,
philosophies and hop out. What?
wow, it's
What,
crazy.
bro? Come
And
on.
like we talk about Andre and Three Stacks,
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
bruh, like
yeah.
to this day, people get mad at me because one of their biggest songs, International Players Anthem,
Mm-hmm.
I will go down to my grave saying Big Boy had the better verse.
Because he was talking about Paul McCartney in it.
Yeah, like Big Boy had the better verse.
Okay.
Like just the way he came in, the way he
Mhm.
delivered it, the way that it switched up. Like I love Three Stacks. To me, the GOAT.
Yeah,
Like I don't know anything that he could do
yeah.
wrong. Like
But
he was
I play
great
that
at
flute.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that flute album, I was so pissed at
Ah!
that. I was like, bro, we've been waiting so long for this, and you gave me music to go to sleep to, bro. Like, I ain't
Yeah.
trying to go to sleep right now. I'm trying to hear some stuff. Like,
But that hurt,
love
bro.
Three Stacks, but
Yeah,
yeah,
me too. I love this.
but yeah, no, I'll go to my grave saying that Big Boy had the better verse. People be getting mad at me they be like, no, Three Stacks. I'm like, Three Stacks killed it, yes, sir. But
Yeah,
Big Boy had the better verse to
yeah.
me. To me, that's my opinion, man.
That
I'm
is your
like,
opinion. That's what I'm saying. That's your
yeah.
opinion, bro. What's your favorite 3 stack verse though?
Oh man. So again, me being the R&B soul, man, I love Prototype.
Fire,
I love She Sleeps in My Lap.
fire.
Um, one of my favorite verses from him is actually his verse on Walk It Out back in '08,
Yeah,
'09 when
yeah.
he did when he was just doing remixes and
With
he
him
was
and
just
Jim
hopping
Jones.
on remixes.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro, when he came in on the Walk It Out verse,
yeah,
like he just like destroyed it, but was like getting at them at the same time. Like
Right.
he was all like, he's like, take your shirts in a couple 3 sizes
Yeah.
smaller. He's like, quit wearing them
Take a
so
picture.
big. I was like, and then like he came in on the Deuces remix. When he came in on the Deuces remix with everybody, like he destroyed that. And then Pink Matter with Frank Ocean when he came in on Pink Matter, I'm just like, bro, like
Solo reprise too. He killed that.
yeah. And then he did one with Kid Cudi. Oh my gosh. Like he did one with Kid Cudi that I had on repeat for like
Mhm.
6 months. Like I'm trying to figure out the name, man. Like you talk while I look it up, man. Let me.
Shit. Rosa Parks. His
Oh,
verse on
Rosa.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah, man. Roses. Like he was.
Yeah, that was like yeah. I was just
uh
a period. Hilarious.
By Design. By Design. That song with him and Kid Cudi. Man, that song was like he came in on that song crazy. Like
He did.
love Three Stacks. Love Three Stacks, man.
Yeah, he was.
Like I be hurting people's feelings all the time because like every time I ask a West Coast person who their favorite rapper is, first name they always say is Pac. Like they'll be like Pac, or they'll say Snoop. Sometimes they'll say Kendrick. Um, but like every time they say Pac, I'll be like,
Right.
okay, but Pac is an East Coast guy. They're like, what? I'm like, Pac grew up, born and raised on the East Coast, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Baltimore,
like, he's an
New
East Coast
York.
guy. I was like,
Yeah.
even when you listen to his stuff with Death Row, he sound like an East Coast rapper. He don't sound like a West Coast rapper. He
Yeah.
sound like an
Yeah.
East Coast rapper because he's an East Coast guy. Like he's born and raised in the East Coast. That's where he developed everything. And like I would say, I said this to my buddies too, man. I was like, I'll go to my grave saying that the music he did before Death Row was better than anything he did with Death Row.
Like Strictly for My Niggas, like that album.
Yes, anything like everything before that. I was like, because even when you look at like his discography, you look at some of his greatest
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah.
like the top 10 or 15 are before Death Row.
Yeah.
Like Brenda Had a Baby, Dear Mama, like all that's before Death Row.
Right.
Like the best thing he did with Death Row was probably California Love and Hail Mary. California Love and Hail Mary were probably,
In that joint,
and
I
then
forgot.
hit him back, and then hit
He
hit
had
him
some
up.
album though.
Yeah, he had some cold. He had some cold
Yeah.
albums. Yeah,
What's the
like
joint? As I bail through the empty halls, breath stinking in my drawers, ring
yeah,
ring. Watch
that
out.
was Death Row. That was Death Row.
And that shit went diamond, by the way.
Yeah,
All Eyes on Me went diamond. I don't know if that
yeah.
was All Eyes on Me. It may have been Machiavelli. I don't know.
That was on Machiavelli. But
Okay.
like my biggest thing with Pac when he went to Death Row is Pac before Death Row was for everybody. He was for the people.
Mhm.
He was for black people changing and developing and
Right.
growing and like taking over the industry and like owning all their stuff.
Right.
Then when he got to Death Row, he was just pissed. He was just mad. And like everything was just so hateful. Like he tried to have some fun every once in a while. And you could tell when that hate was starting to leave his heart
Yeah.
because his tracks were becoming more fun. They were becoming more Pac. Like he was
Yeah.
doing stuff. He was doing stuff with R&B artists. He was doing stuff with different things because he was becoming more at peace. And
Mhm.
like it was like because I remember that like All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli, like bro was pissed. Like he was mad. Like he like all them records, like they're great records, but you could feel the hate that
You
he
think
had.
you think he had the right to when he got shot, or he should have just kept it at peace?
Like, no. He like you get shot, bro. Like
Yeah.
you got the right to be pissed off.
Yeah.
You got to be pissed off at the right people, and you
Uh,
can't have people gassing you up and telling you different things just to keep that energy going.
yeah.
And like to this day, like, bro, like I'm so mad at Suge for just keeping that energy going. Like Suge, like he listened to everything Suge said, and Suge could have calmed that down super quick. He could have been
Mm.
like, I was like, he could have been like, hey man, like let that go. We making money. Everybody making money right now.
Right.
Let
Right.
that go, man. Like if anything, let's bring them all together, have a private sit down, squash it. Like
Wow. See.
squash it,
Yeah.
move on, man. Because they get they squash it and they leave it alone and we get to see Big and Pac. Like, and we're not thinking about what ifs. Like, and we get to see Big and Pac do an album together. Like if Big and Pac did an album because they were best friends.
Yeah.
Like if we see Big and Pac do an album together, you think about how crazy that album would have been.
Bro, like I was thinking in my head, like, bro, if I know, what if we would have got the commission, bro?
Yeah,
Oh shit, Jay and Biggie.
yeah.
Oh my, bro, that would have been disgusting. But
It was
I see what you're saying, like, you know, how you could have squashed it. Like, I wonder if like the politics, like with gangs and whatnot, was it on site? You know what I mean? Because they seen
yeah.
seen them in
And,
there in Vegas.
and you already know it was, man. And you got to
Yeah,
represent, like, you had the Bloods and the Crips in it. And it was like, I used to tell people, I was like, bro, everything that happens, man, especially being a historian and a criminal justice major, like, everything that happens starts out pure. Like, it starts out so pure. Like, gangs started out with the purity of we just trying to help
the
other
community.
people that look like us
Yeah, for sure,
feel like they got a family.
for sure.
Like it started out on a purity, and then it got corrupted by one or two people. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like even in the United States, the prison system. The prison system, people don't understand. The prison system started out so pure, like the like uh the Pennsylvania, like the envision for the prison system was just to be a reform system, and it worked so well in the beginning
Yeah,
until it got corrupted. Because
yeah,
then they were like, okay, now we can put people away for the littlest thing,
yeah,
and we can start crowding these jails with people that we just don't want on the streets. So now it's something different. Now we're not looking to reform. We're not looking to change. We're
right.
not looking to do this. We're just looking to punish.
Cheap
And
labor.
it became super corrupt. And now it's cheap labor. And
Yeah.
it's basically slavery work. Like the prison system became slavery. And I was like, everything started so pure. Like it was like music and everything was so like it was so pure in the 90s before all that happened. And it was just it was
Nigga, no, it was not pure, bro.
well,
NWA was
not
out,
not
bro.
not pure like in a
Straight.
sense. Like I'm talking about like it was you could do a diss record and nobody was gonna die.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
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 you could do a diss record, nobody was gonna
yeah,
die.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody was grown men about it. They
yeah,
were like, look, like they were like, hey, look,
yeah,
he dissed me. If he got me, he got me. Like
yeah, yeah.
there was some where they were just like, hey, he got me. Like
Yeah.
if KRS-One got you, he got you.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
like you
The
wasn't
bridge is
coming back.
over. The bridge is over.
Yeah.
He-
Like you wasn't coming back. Like, and that was part of it. And then gangs got involved with it, and it just became like, oh no, he if he got me, then I gotta take him out. I'm like,
Yeah, you gotta go get that.
why?
Get that.
Like why? Like like come on, man. Let us live, man.
Yeah,
Let us live. Let us
yeah,
grow old. Let us enjoy what we do. Like,
yeah.
and it just like it saddens me because like you see Pac and Biggie and how young they were, and it's just like, damn, bro, like, damn,
So much happened too around that time. Like that
yeah,
was post OJ. I think Princess Diana at that time. Like Kurt
yeah,
Cobain. Like it was insane, bro. Like
yeah.
that whole time frame, people dying young. You know what I mean?
It was crazy. Like, and like I talked about it. Like I remember when my mentor passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it at his funeral uh, because like I stated that that like God takes the people that He needs the most at the moment. And I was like, some say the good die young, and I was like, and that makes me feel sad at times because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if the good die young, then the older and older I get, like, what is that saying about me? Like, is that saying that I'm bad for
Yeah,
some
yeah,
sense? Like,
terrible.
yeah. And I was like, I hated that quote. I was like, I hate it so much, and I was like, because like I said it at his funeral, I was like, I hate that quote so much because this man was not young. I was like,
Right.
he was an older man. I was like, but you cannot tell me that he was a bad man. I was like, he was a great man. He was a good man. He took a lost child that did not understand the world and guided me to a sense where I could do things that I do now. And I was like, I'm tired of hearing the good die young. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
we may consider, and I don't want to consider myself like religious. I don't want to disrespect anybody, you know.
Yeah.
In the Bible, I think quote me. Don't quote me on this. How about I say that? Because I know people tend to take everything irrationally these days, but
Yeah. Real sensitive.
real sensitive. And I don't know this. You can fact check me, but did people lived a long time back in the day, right? Like hundreds of years, right?
Like, no, past that.
Past that.
Like Adam died when he was like 968, something like
Right.
that.
There we
Like,
go. So
Noah was like 600 years old. Yeah.
yeah. So a positive way to look at the message that you said, the good die young. I'm thinking in those terms. So even though you think that your mentor was older, in biblical terms, he was super young, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so that's probably where that term derived
But
from. No, but
that was also the Old Testament, though.
yeah,
Like,
you know what I mean.
like there was a point in time where God was like, I ain't gonna let y'all live that long no more. Like,
Right,
so,
right.
yeah,
Bro, you understand? So,
gotta
yeah,
cap it. Gotta
that's
cap
what's
it.
it. And
And they're like,
speaking of dying, I don't want this conversation to die, bro. But
oh yeah, bro.
yeah,
No, man. We could definitely head out on this, man. Like the musicals thing was great, man. So
I
we'll
love to tap in, like, and so I could go in more depth about the music next time.
oh yeah, man. We could definitely do a part two, man. We can do a part
Okay.
two, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me close this thing out. Hey, thank you everyone who listened to this episode today of Conversing Over Drinks, man. I know we kind of went off the rails, but that's what this episode is all about, man. This show is all about. It's about having conversations, having fun, just letting people be people and talking, man. Like it's a fun time. If you enjoy it, thank you, man. I know I have a loyal 10 or 15 listeners, and I appreciate you guys, man. And I love you guys. So thank you so much. Like you heard from my buddy Ja'mal, a part two could be coming very soon.
Yeah, facts.
Okay?
Facts,
So
facts.
so we
Go a
do
little
a
more
part
depth.
two where we talk a lot about music and we
Yes,
talk about some
sir.
other stuff. And so be looking out for that too. We get that scheduled. But thank you guys for listening. This has been Conversing Over Drinks with your host, Cedric Turner. We out. Peace.
Peace.